Picture this. Tanjiro, the unstoppable and kind-hearted demon slayer, goes head-to-head with the cream of the crop demon slayers, the Hashira. Will Tanjiro ever stand a chance? Let's see how Tanjiro would fare against each Hashira. For this video, we will split Tanjiro into 4 skill levels. The first one is the untrained and zero experience Tanjiro. This Tanjiro is what you see in episode 1, and his fighting skills are demonstrated the very first time our boy met a Hashira. Let's rewind to the very first episode when Tanjiro met Giyu Tomioka, the water Hashira. Oh boy, we know how it turned out. Tanjiro really had a tough time keeping up with Giyu's impressive skills and strength. Back then, he only had determination and his unpredictability to rely on. With this, he just almost landed a hit on the water Hashira. But remember Giyu's poker face while he effortlessly dodged Tanjiro's moves? It's like he's playing a game of tag and Tanjiro is still learning the rules. He did not even take it seriously. He could have ended Tanjiro right there and then, and we're glad he didn't kill our MC, or else the series would have ended with just 1 episode. But what if Tanjiro met another Hashira instead of Giyu? Would he stand a chance? Nope, the outcome would still be the same. Tanjiro's desperate attacks would be like a tiny squirrel bravely challenging a towering giant. He would even end up dead, without having a chance to explain his situation. Surely Saname, the Wind Hashira, would instantly kill Tanjiro and Nezuko, knowing his history and hatred for demons. The same goes for the other Hashira except Mitsuri, the Love Hashira. Mitsuri, with her loving and sweet personality, would probably take pity on the siblings and hear their side. But in terms of battle, Tanjiro would not have a shot at taking her down. Our MC only has luck and plot armor by his side when battling the Hashira at this point. With this level, Tanjiro will be demolished if he dared to challenge a Hashira. Tanjiro might just land a surprise blow on Mitsuri since the Love Hashira would lower her guard and not take our MC seriously. After all, who could take our lovable hero seriously at first glance? There's another Hashira whom Tanjiro could potentially inflict a blow. Who would that be? That would be Shinobu, the insect Hashira. Remember her specialty is on poisons, but her poisons do not work on humans. Tanjiro might just have a chance at landing a hit. Or maybe his specialty, the headbutt. Who knows? But in terms of killing a Hashira, nope, not a chance. Remember, at this level, Tanjiro has 0 experience with no knowledge of breathing techniques. So it's a 0 win for level 1 Tanjiro. No chance of winning against every single Hashira. But what if it's level 2 Tanjiro? Would the outcomes be different? Let's find out. This Tanjiro has 2 years of training. At this point, he has learned all water-breathing forms under the tutelage of Sakanji Orokadaki. Thanks to Sabito, his swordsmanship skills have also powered up. Let's also add his total concentration breathing, which he learned at the Butterfly Mansion. But despite these power-ups, there's a catch. Tanjiro may have gotten a power boost, but he will also lose his unpredictability. This is supposedly his edge against the Hashira. Compared to the untrained Tanjiro who relies only on instincts, this level 2 Tanjiro will incorporate Demon Slayer techniques in the fight. And of course, it goes without saying that the pillars are all too familiar with these techniques. Taking down Tanjiro would be a piece of cake. The Hashira would literally destroy him in seconds. Well, except for one, Shinobu. Against Shinobu, Tanjiro would probably hold his own at least for minutes. We know that Shinobu got some serious skills when it comes to agility, speed, precision, and poison techniques. However, the insect Hashira is not the strongest in terms of physique. She also tends to be over-reliant on her poisons for her offense, which, unfortunately for her, does not work on humans. But still, Shinobu's speed and experience compensate for these weaknesses. She's so fast that even the upper-ranked Demon 2 Doma admitted that she is the fastest Hashira he has ever met. Thanks to her teleportation-like speed, she can attack Tanjiro even before our MC realizes what just happened. Tanjiro's attacks would be in vain as the insect Hashira's lightning speed reflexes allow her to effortlessly evade this. Tanjiro would be so tired that he'll drop from either injuries or exhaustion. And so the verdict. 0 wins, 9 losses. Tanjiro with 2 years of training still cannot defeat any of the Hashira. The losing streak for Tanjiro continues. But would the results be different for a level 3 Tanjiro? Spoiler alert, yes. But who would he beat? And who would beat him? First, let's get down to the facts. This version of Tanjiro is much stronger. He has now attained full mastery of the sun-breathing technique and its 12 forms. Because of this, his physical abilities and swordsmanship had a major power boost. Also, he can now activate Transparent World, allowing him to predict his opponent's movements. Would these power-ups be enough to take down the Hashira? Let's start with the weakest one. Who do you think that would be? Yes, you're right. Obviously, Shinobu Kocho, the quick-footed insect Hashira. We know for a fact that Shinobu's fighting style largely revolves around her lethal poisons and speed, but we have already established earlier that her poisons are rendered useless against humans. Now she only has her speed going for her. Unfortunately for our insect Hashira, Tanjiro's heightened senses allow him to see through her intricate movements, predicting and accurately dodging each attack. Hence, Shinobu's speed will basically be useless against our MC transparent world. Knowing these, it's obvious who wins this round. That's one Hashira down. Next, let's fight Tanjiro and Tengen Uzui, the Sound Hashira. It's worth mentioning that Tengen has not unlocked his Demon Slayer mark. This makes him a ton weaker compared to Muichiro, Mitsuri, Giyu, Gyume, Sanemi, and Obanai. But let's give Tengen some credit for his combat skills. Remember, he underwent harsh training as a former ninja. He has a unique technique though, that could be or could not be useful against his fight with Tanjiro, his musical score. Once completed, this technique allows him to read his opponent's movements, including their fighting styles. This is the same technique he used in the fight against Gyutaro. Imagine a one-hand and heavily poisoned Tengen was able to keep up an Upper Moon 6 thanks to his already completed musical score. However, this power has one major flaw. Before Tengen can unleash his technique, he must engage in a prolonged fight. It has now come to a battle of defense and endurance. Tengen has to avoid Tanjiro's attacks for him to be attuned to the boy's movements. However, as for Tanjiro in his transparent world, he can easily evade Tengen's attacks. Tengen's musical score would basically be useless with Tanjiro's heightened senses and slow perception of time. Hence, Tanjiro wins. That's 2 winning streaks for Tanjiro. Next up, Kyojuro Rengoku, the Flame Hashira. You see, Rengoku's flame breathing allows him to generate and manipulate intense flames, which he channels into his strikes. This ability not only enhances the cutting power of his sword, but also inflicts burning damage upon his opponents. This allows him to hold his own against Akaza until almost sunrise. But, to be fair, the Upper Demon 3 wasn't taking our flame breather seriously. We know how it turned out. Donut Boy. Rengoku's and Tanjiro's techniques almost look the same, but they are different. Also, in a fight against Tanjiro, Rengoku is at a major disadvantage. Why? He does not have the Demon Slayer mark. He also has not unlocked the transparent world. Rengoku's attacks would just be futile. It's like an Akaza 2.0 fight. Tanjiro would win against the Flame Hashira, no doubt about that. It's 3 Hashira down, 6 more to go. What if it's Tanjiro versus Mitsuri Kanroji, the Love Hashira? This is where it gets hard for Tanjiro because Mitsuri is undeniably physically strong, like super strong. You see, she was able to rip Muzan's arm off. She also fought one-on-one with Hantengu's fake body, which we know was so hard to do even with Nezuko, Genya, and Tanjiro working together. Unlike Shinobu, Tengen, and Rengoku, Mitsuri has unlocked her Demon Slayer mark. This gives Mitsuri's already strong physique a tremendous power boost. Let's not forget the Love Hashira's whip-like blade. Her blades are so flexible that she can use them as a defense while also launching attacks from a distance. However, with Tanjiro's transparent world, he can also evade the Hashira's whips. In a long fight, the only advantage Mitsuri has is her longer stamina, which is all thanks to her muscle density. This will tire Tanjiro out. But should Tanjiro activate his mark, he can slash through Mitsuri's whips and even launch a hit on the Love Hashira. It's a tough choice, love, but in this fight, let's give it to Tanjiro. It's now 4-0 in favor of Tanjiro. 5 more to go. The remaining pillars are definitely strong. Is this the start of Tanjiro's losing streak? Let's see. Next up, we have Muichiro Tokito, the Mist Hashira. You see, what Tanjiro has, Muichiro also has: a Demon Slayer mark, transparent world abilities, and the ability to turn his blades red. Muichiro does have one unique technique though, his 7th form, Obscuring Clouds. This allows him to totally conceal his presence. Too bad for him, it won't work on Tanjiro's superb sense of smell, plus his transparent world. However, our youngest Hashira has another advantage, his battle experience. He has way more techniques under his sleeve compared to Tanjiro. It will be a tough battle, but in this round, Muichiro wins. Our Mist Pillar finally breaks Tanjiro's winning streak. Up next, Obanai Iguro, the Serpent Hashira. Will Tanjiro's losing streak continue? Yes. Just like Muichiro, Obanai has unlocked the transparent world and the mark. Obanai's transparent world is so amazing that he can activate it even without his eyesight. Also, Obanai is just built differently. You see, he has extreme endurance. In the fight against Muzan, Obanai was able to come back from near-death experiences multiple times. He was not only able to keep up with the Demon King, but even catch him off guard. This makes him one of the most effective and useful Hashira during the fight. In terms of fighting style, Obanai's blades are like serpents, fully extendable and twistable. This allows him to fight at a distance, and don't forget his pet snake, Kaburamaru, who always saves the day. Even with one of his senses missing, Kaburamaru would compensate for it. There's no question about it, Tanjiro would lose. Tanjiro's losing streak continues. It's now 2 consecutive losses for him. Will our Water Hashira be able to continue the streak? Despite Giyu having more battle experience, the effects of his powers might not always pack the same punch as his fellow Demon Slayers. In a fight against Muzan, his attacks do not do nearly as much damage even at Muzan's demonic infant form. The difference in their strengths is also demonstrated in the 2-by-1 fight against Akaza. Tanjiro was able to decapitate the demon. Akaza even praised Tanjiro for his improvement and acknowledged that he surpasses his speed. Meanwhile, Giyu's attacks are not that effective against the Upper Moon 3. Knowing this, it's clear who the winner is. The student outshines the mentor. Giyu wins, Tanjiro loses. It's now 5 wins and 2 losses. Will Tanjiro's losing streak continue with the Wind Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa? Sanemi is known as the equal of Giyu in terms of power and resistance. And let's give Sanemi some credit. In a fight against Kakushibo, Muichiro lasted for only about 10 seconds. Meanwhile, Sanemi was able to hold his ground against the upper-ranked Demon 1. Kakushibo even complimented Sanemi, saying that the Hashira reminded him of the Wind Hashira in the Sengoku period. And let's not forget Sanemi's extreme endurance and fighting spirit, which he showed in the Infinity Castle arc fight. He can also deflect attacks with his wind-breathing style. It's gonna be a tough fight, but knowing Tanjiro defeated Giyu, which is like the equal of Sanemi, it is safe to say that Tanjiro wins this round. It's now 6-2 in favor of our Sun Breather. We're down to our strongest pillar, Gyome Himejima, the Stone Hashira. Gyome is a hulking figure with a muscular physique, and his combat style reflects his incredible might. His physical strength is unparalleled, even before the Demon Slayer mark. Just imagine his power surge upon unlocking the mark. He was able to hold his own against Muzan and is even the most effective Hashira against the Demon King. Gyome wields a massive spike stone attached to an axe. This weapon perfectly complements his brute strength while giving him added mobility. He was even able to decapitate the Demon King. No doubt he can land fatal blows on Tanjiro. He has a weakness though, his blindness. But it's not that much of a weakness since his keen senses and transparent world abilities compensate for this. The verdict, Gyome definitely wins. Tanjiro stands no chance against the Stone Pillar. The result, 6 wins, 3 losses. But what if it's the strongest version of Tanjiro? Level 4. Spoiler alert, there's a Demon King Tanjiro. In the Infinity Castle arc, Muzan pumped all his remaining blood into Tanjiro, realizing that only the latter could attain his goals. Before Tamayo's humanizing medicine converted returned Tanjiro to a human, we see a glimpse of his capabilities as a demon. It's like he's received a serious upgrade. His newfound abilities skyrocket him to the same level as an upper-ranked demon, or perhaps even the almighty Muzan himself. Talk about a power boost. Now let's talk regeneration. Tanjiro's regenerative abilities are off the charts. Remember those injuries he sustained from his previous battles? Poof, they disappeared. He was even able to regenerate his severed arm. But wait, there's more. Tanjiro's resistance to the sun takes the concept of invincibility to a whole new level. The sun is no longer a threat to our hero-turned-demon. And here's the real kicker, Tanjiro is the one and only master of the sun-breathing technique. Sunbeams and red Nichiren blades may tickle him at best. It's as if he has his own personal sunscreen, but with an added kick of demon and demon-slaying skills. Demon King Tanjiro is basically invincible. The Hashira don't stand a chance against him. Tanjiro would demolish every single one of them. Do you know all the secrets of the Kamado family? Click here to find out.